resuming where we left off. I'll go ahead and set my phone so I know. I gotta start keeping my videos to like 50 minutes. I'll just keep the stopwatch on. Alright. So, yeah, I haven't really bought anything. Hopefully we get money for those fish we had. Maybe they're still in my basket. Yep, we got 34 pounds of fish. Well, apparently getting some frame drops today. Looks like it's sunset. You can see the warm fog on the water. That's pretty cool. I guess we're doing some night fishing then, so we'll give her a shot. I don't really tend to have much luck because I guess the fish are sleeping. Which, by the way, I've never had like a fish tank, so I don't know, but I guess they just sleep by treading in place or something. That'd be like humans trying to sleep standing up, maintaining your balance. I wonder if doing this would work. Just spinning in circles. Someone caught a blacktail shiner. I think that's something you can only catch with like bloodworms with a float set up. Oh, I seen a fish jump. Well, I'll try to cast over there next time. But we were having pretty good luck with stop and go. For this corridor here we got set up at. And actually just after I turned off recording from the last episode I just did, I seen someone, I think, with a rental kayak. She was actually like paddling with her legs. I can't remember. Oh, like a paddle boat style. So she wasn't using an actual paddle in her hands like my boat requires. I might actually want to get a little closer. Cast a little bit past this island or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. It's just kind of like a mound or something. I'm pretty sure you can get like glow in the dark equipment. Like it's gotta be shallow right here, right? For this log to be here. Interesting. I guess I'll just send my lure right through the lilies there. See what happens. Try some stop and go, I suppose. I've never messed around with like competitions, stuff like that. Competitive stuff I don't really care for in most games. But like when I was younger, I would play more competitive stuff, but now I just kind of like to chill, honestly. Oh, dang. I could tell there was some tension. It felt like a fish, but it could have just been stuck on a weed or something. You can hear the crickets chirping. Kinda looking ghostly right now. Real creepy with this fog. Kinda made me think of something kinda weird. It was a long time ago that I seen a YouTube video on it, but apparently there's like a famous lake somewhere in America somewhere that I think it was actually kind of like a man-made lake because they flooded this big huge area. And I guess like a whole town was used to be there, and it was completely flooded over with water. But like apparently there was a cemetery that was flooded over by the water, so it's like at the bottom of the lake, which is like really creepy. Like I already have kind of this phobia of deep water and like this phobia of like what's on the bottom of this obscured lake bed. But honestly, if you were to just remove all this water, well, I guess I'm talking more about real life, but if you were to take all the water out of the lake, it probably wouldn't. It'd probably honestly just look kind of smooth and muddy. guess it would get creepier if there was like structures underwater, like crevices and stuff. There was a horrible accident that happened, I think, in Canada back, I don't know how many years ago, but modern times. So it was winter, and all the lakes freeze over up there in the winter. And so these two guys were messing around with one of those, like a dune buggy, I guess. They were driving that on the ice, the frozen lake, doing donuts and stuff, and they made like a ramp, I guess. I don't know how. Maybe they built up a pile of snow with like a plow on their truck or something, but they went off this ramp, this big ramp, and just slammed into the ice and broke through it. And so they actually, as they were seat belted in, they immediately sunk to the bottom of this frozen lake, because it's just a dune buggy. There's no air in it like cars have. Cars will float a while before they sink. But so the guy gets to the surface, freezing, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and, so this shows you the most active times. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like it's gonna be real active right then. Maybe we'll go check that out. Extend. Oh, now it's even more spooky. It's raining. Well, we'll just continue on trying this spot out. But like I was saying, the guy runs to shore and, calls 911. And of course it takes them a while to get there. I think it took them 30 minutes to get there, which isn't bad, honestly, for how remote of a place it was. And the surprising part is that the firefighters were all trained divers, rescue divers. So they had all their gear, and well, apparently human beings can actually be resuscitated from drowning up to an hour from when it happened, which is really crazy. So it was go time for them. They needed to dive down and see if they could retrieve his body and resuscitate him. And the divers, I think there was 3 first guy that went down, that would be my worst fear. Being in his shoes, that would be like the biggest phobia for me. Just slowly descending in pitch black water with ice over your head. I mean, and so he started descending, and before he got to the bottom, he had this massive panic attack, and he bolted to the surface, and luckily he was able to find the hole to get up to the surface. So he couldn't do it. So the second guy tries, and he gets farther down, but his foot hits something. And he didn't realize it at the time, but his foot hit a old, like, petrified tree that apparently those littered the landscape down there. Just old petrified trees, preserved from the cold water, I guess. So he got like snagged up in that, and like he didn't know what the heck was going on. So he had a panic attack. Luckily the third guy went down, and he was able to, like, he hit the trees too, but he realized what they were. They were trees. But the water was so murky that he had to get like 2 inches. His face mask 2 inches from the tree with the light right on it to even see what it was. But he kept searching around, and he finally found the dune buggy. It was upside down naturally, just making it harder. And he felt around, and he felt the guy's face, and so he kept feeling around, and he was able to cut the seatbelt off of him and get him to the surface. And at that time, it had been almost exactly an hour, and no one really had high hopes. At that point, they thought maybe it was just a corpse recovery mission. But believe it or not, the guy actually survived. He was resuscitated, and they think maybe the cold water slowed down the workings of his body, and allowed him to survive that long in a state of limbo. He had no brain damage or anything. Well, this spot isn't really doing much for me. It could be I'm not presenting that well, because I was focused on telling that story, so I'll try to... Well, the twitching's working real nice here. Staying right in the center. It's pretty much right under me right now, but sometimes I like to just leave it in as long as I can in case there's a fish trailing it, Just give the fish that last opportunity to snag it. It's like the most important time when you're baiting is, I feel like, is when it starts getting closer and closer to you, because again, you know, like a lot of times the fish, they probably are curious, like I can only imagine. I mean, like a lot of these lures look nothing like fish. So I guess their brains are designed to like be attracted to like shiny stuff, for example. So lures often are shiny and they spin too through the water, a lot of them. Oh, finally got something. Someone caught a green sunfish. That's new. That's a new fish. We got a pike. See, like, for me, that never happens. That's like the ideal scenario. Having it hooked on right to the edge of the lip there, where it'd make it easy to take it off. I'm gonna catch one more fish. Or maybe I'll just keep going and do like a strictly like a night fish video. Night fishing. I'll have to check out the glow-in-the-dark equipment. Pretty sure I saw a glow-in-the-dark like bobber and then like a rod. Like the tip of the last like 3 feet of the rod had glow-in-the-dark lighting on it, and I think that helps so you can see what direction the pole is going when the fish is pulling. There's missions you can do, and I think they yield quite a bit of money, but of course they're, you have to focus much more than just doing something mindless like this. So we'll get one more fish here. I guess we'll just try over here. That was a pretty good cast. Let's really try to focus here. We'll do twitching instead, as it's pretty coming up pretty fast there. It's gonna hit the bottom. There, that's how I'll do it. I'll wait till it gets high and then I'll let it drop. But preferably not. think it was coasting that whole time. They are pretty hydrodynamic, supposedly. You can really see now how much of this of the game can be a slog when you're not doing things right, I guess. Probably the biggest thing is the time of day. But I could have swore it said something like, it says fish activity is actually pretty intense right now. But maybe it's more like the smaller fish, like the panfish or something, that I should be going for. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get my telefloat out, go up on shore and set that up static, because I don't quite care for using the telefloat on the kayak unless I'm hardcore going AFK. When I first started playing, this was always a heavy hitter spot here. Just probably set it up like that. Definitely gonna want to adjust the leader, it's way too long. I think 20 inches is what, or we'll go for these are mainly for like big fish, so we'll try some worms. Just toss it out. Telefloat. Real nice. Nice rod. I think you do start with a telefloat as a new player, but you start with a shorter one. This is the big boy. This is the long one. 21 feet long. You can pull fish right out of the water, no issue. Don't even have to reel the fish in, you just pull the thing right out of the water. So much leverage, you know. Yeah, this would be where like a glow-in-the-dark bobber would come in handy. Kinda hard to see. And that bell thing you can put on the end, that's gonna be something we're gonna wanna look into here. This rod is really quiet when you cast it. I bet when I get with the spinny reel. I bet that's gonna be even quieter, because apparently it has less friction. I got a little antsy there, and I think I might have biffed it. Pretty sure something was on the lure there. Well, we're just not getting much, are we? I guess since it's raining, that might affect things. I don't know. I could imagine maybe the surface feeding fish might give up when it's raining and not even bother looking for disturbances on the surface because of the rain messing everything up. But that's 20 inches under the surface. I'm not going after bass and pike with this lure rod. Well, I was hoping for one more before I left and ended the trip and went to go buy my ideal setup. Something at the last second, come on. Well, alright, well, I guess we'll just head out. Get a nice cheeky $61 there. That's like 1/4 of the cost of the braid line. So that's our total haul, I guess. 37. 3-day trip. Alright. The Congo Discovery Pack. I am not gonna fix those because I'm gonna probably sell them. Wow, look at that money. So now's the fun time here. We're gonna go ahead and I guess we have time. We can go ahead and buy this rod setup I've been curating here. Just need to look on my phone to see what the stuff is I need to buy here. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, looks like I'm gonna sell my trusty dusty lure rod here. Hopefully after I sell this stuff hopefully this won't be a mistake, but I gotta sell it first somehow. Rods. I guess I gotta do that. Or maybe maybe I can't sell this. How much does this sell for? Okay. And we do want to keep that lure I threw this spoon here. So I was hoping to sell this too. Oops. Well, I'm keeping the Telefloat. In fact, I think I'm gonna buy 3 more of them. And I probably don't even need this good of a reel on them, since I don't even use the reel. This is basically just a long stick. Alright, here we go. We'll start with the reel. And that's gonna be a Prima 2000 spinning reel, and it's like Prima. There it is. By Beautiful. Now we get the rod, and that's gonna be called a Featherlight 7-footer. 7-foot. And wow, we have more than enough, so now we just need the braided line. And I do believe this is it. So we'll buy that. Okay, well, this is exciting. We're gonna take that rod. Oh, I see. I need to put it in the home, so we'll just haphazardly sell that, hopefully, or ultralight. Look at that, it's red. Cool. Now, here's the Prima, we'll put that on. Hopefully this all works out. And braid 0.005. So we need to make sure. I think that's how many feet long it is. We gotta make sure we get it to, in theory we can cast it almost 200 feet. But if a fish gets on the hook, we need to have a little bit of wiggle room in case it pulls out some line. So hopefully 215 will work. Alright. This is using Mono 08. So these we can get rid of. Mono. Alright. Oh, so we got some backup in the backpack there. And now we can get our braid. 150. Maybe it didn't cut it yet. Yeah. So do 15. Cut. And get our spoon on there. This will be the ideal. Yeah, ideal weight for what we're wanting to do here. Too heavy is bad, too light is bad, so this is a good weight. And I think we are ready to have some fun. This is exciting. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we can do. Just stay up real late tonight and play with my 7-foot featherlight, my new rod here. So the whole idea was that I put this together, this combination of stuff. You know, the lure, the line, the reel, the rod. This should allow me to cast around like 190 feet, which is the longest you can cast while getting perfect non-deductions for the XP on this map. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could cast from here all the way to there, honestly. That'd be really cool. So, I bought an unlimited license. So, there's that new rod there. Let me just go get my kayak here.
Hi there.
Look at that. It doesn't really look red in this lighting. Alright. We're gonna see how far we can cast here. Hopefully it works. If we get over 150 feet, I'll be happy. Alright, here we go. That was a decent cast. 177. 177. And that wasn't that good of a cast, so oh my god, that makes me happy. So hopefully we'll be able to twitch okay with it. this far of a cast. That was kind of something I was worried about, but we're at 120 feet and we're looking stable with the twitching. I think really it's just down to, at these long cast distances, trying to keep it off the bottom. So I think twitching might be our best bet to keep the velocity higher than stopping and go. I seen a fish jump over there. Oh, cool. I didn't even intend to do that, but I'll take that. That's like a premium currency thing. Oh, same cast, 177. A little less. Well, this is looking beautiful. This gives us a lot of presentation time for that lure to attract some big old bass and pike. We're after the 1.9 pound bass. Those are the big boys on this lake. And I'm still going. Yeah, this is a noticeable difference how far we're casting. Again, before I was casting like 100 feet, I think. 109 was my most. So this is gonna be almost double. There we go. 189, yeah, so 190 is is exactly, it seems, how far the max. And we're maintaining a nice height on our lure. It's right in the center. So this is pretty, I like mindless stuff like this. We're just, all I'm doing is clicking the right mouse button like once every fraction of a second. You can see kinda, you don't want to twitch too fast like that. You don't want to twitch too slow, but something like that. Someone caught a bluegill and it lagged out the game. Holy crap. How big was that thing? I think that's a rental. You can see he's pedaling with his feet. Well, let's see if we can do a little crowd pleaser here. Right over him. Wonder if he can see my line. Okay, I let the lure hit the bottom, and now I'm gonna start twitching, and this is a lot of distance here to just mindlessly reel, twitch. Well, my kitty's here, so I might have to cut the video. He's probably gonna start rubbing his face against the mic, so say goodbye. Say goodbye. Hey there, he's rubbing his face. Alright, see ya.